So listen, man, to jump into this,
Okay.
I did zero research for this conversation only because this was a last minute.
Okay.
So this is either
Okay.
gonna be a conversation at the purest form. Okay.
I would never got treated like this on Vlad TV. I just want you to know he would have done a ton of research. He'd be like, "Hey, Corde, how's it going?" I'm like, "Going good, Vlad. How we doing?"
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, already, you pulling the. I wish my quarterback was someone like a Brett Favre instead of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
instead of Don McNabb, huh?
Okay. Okay. So context of
That's what
that.
T.O. said, though, right?
He said that. I'm an
That was a
Eagles fan.
direct. That was a direct racial comment.
That was some he said, but he was saying that because Brett Favre had a history of playing through injuries, right? Now I was like, why would you even say that? Favre don't know the offense. I forgot that Andy Reid offense was the same in
No,
Green Bay as it
no.
is in
T
Philly.
T.O. wasn't that premeditated. He that
Pre,
was he.
Also, To ain't
You think he put that much thought into it? No.
nah. To's not great when it comes across in like the media. Like I would have been. This is what I would have said. Personally, this is
Mm-hmm.
what I would have said. Like, yo, how do you think you need another quarterback? I was like, well, we're struggling offensively now right now because I think the funny thing about that, I think we were still like 3-1 or 2-2. I was like, well, if Donovan was healthy, we would be undefeated right now. But he's not healthy, and we still have a pretty good record. But once Donovan gets healthy, we go, hey, it's gonna be scary. Like you saw, I'd be like, you saw what we did last year when him and I was healthy. We just gotta keep Donovan upright. We gotta get healthy. I gotta get open sooner and stuff like that to help him out. And then once we get healthy and that my man
Right.
Donovan gets healthy,
Right.
it's gonna be scary.
But I
That's what I
don't.
would have said.
But it wasn't. It was the injury. The injuries was definitely part of his frustration, from what I remember.
Yeah,
I know this is a while ago, but I also
yeah.
remember him being upset because he, from the first 4 games of the season, he wasn't getting the ball a lot,
True.
and it was towards the end of the season too. He wasn't getting the ball a lot.
Well, no. So that was the season T.O. got suspended, right?
Right.
And then like that whole off season before leading into that season, they wasn't really talking and stuff like that, right? But I remember Donovan had like sustained like a chest injury, like on the first game against Atlanta, which he had a house set, and then like the next game they played like Minnesota, which he wasn't getting the ball, but they were spreading the ball around more when they should have been forcing it to him. But then also Andy Reid liked to call a bunch of plays, but he likes to spread the ball around instead of giving
Right.
it to people. So he was thinking it was probably because of their relationship that this is why this was going on, and not
Right.
actually the fact that no Andy Reid just like to spread the ball around. Which at the time they only had Greg Lewis, L.J. Smith. It's another Greg who was like the tight
It was
end.
a tight end. It was
Yeah.
oh
Uh,
man,
I forget his name too. And then like the weapon, the X Factor or Fred X,
Fred X,
who was
the X
Todd
Factor.
Kingston, who I think tore his Achilles, and that's it. And then I'm like, so we spreading the ball around to who? And Brian Westbrook got the back. I'm like, I'll be frustrated too. We ain't got nobody. It's just me out here. So
I mean, Andy Reid's offenses have always been predicated on just getting the ball to the open receiver. Like
yeah,
that's all Andy Reid's offenses have been. I mean, they've never featured an all-star wide receiver. So um, I don't know. T.O. had no grounds to stand on in that argument. Especially he came into a system and he's going to act like now the system needs to change for me, a wide receiver, when that's never been Andy Reid's focus point.
true. But he did put up like 72 catches, 1,200 yards, and 14 touchdowns when they're supposed to be in an offense where they spread the ball around. So
How did you just pull his stats out of thin air?
I remember these stats because it was like his best, because it was like a dynamic year, and it was Donovan McNabb's best year. Because I think he threw for like I think it was like 3,900 yards, something like that, and like 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I remember this year specifically because I'm an Eagles fan. I always looked at it
Okay.
like on Madden. I always looked up the years that Donovan McNabb had. It was the first year he ever threw for 30 touchdowns. He threw for 31 that year, and I just know that off the top of my head because it was like how crazy and how good was the magic they had together.
Right.
And then T.O. missed 2 games that season,
Right. And
so
he
he
still.
didn't.
Yeah.
And he still put up 14 touchdowns. So if he would have played 2 more, he would have because they had a bet going on where if he scored 15 touchdowns, that Andy Reid was going to wear the same like leggings or tights that T.O. warms up in.
I remember that actually. I
Yeah,
remember that. I remember that. All right. So
yeah,
look, there's a couple different directions that this conversation could be taken. Okay.
yeah,
I was gonna
yeah,
either go with the comedy career or the football career. I have an
yeah,
interest in both. We're gonna start with football just because that's where we are right now.
yeah.
You're from the Bay, right? You're from Oakland,
From the Bay?
California.
No, no. I'm from Richmond. I'm
You
from
from
Richmond,
okay? You're from
California.
Richmond. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
yeah,
hear that. So
yeah. What you?
congratulations on making it.
Okay. Oh,
Uh, Congratulations on making it out.
you know,
Uh,
just like Oakland, it's a hard place too. You know,
where does the Eagles love come in?
Eagles love. I was a Niners fan growing up. You know, if you live in the Bay Area, you got two teams.
Yep.
Well, it's two teams in each city. In Oakland, you either love the A's or you love the Giants, SF Giants, or it's you love the Raiders or the Niners. I always was a Niner fan. Never rooted for the Raiders at all.
Right.
Matter of fact, growing up, it makes sense because my biological father was a Niners fan,
Mm-hmm.
and he always just decked me out in Niners gear. But when I went home to my house.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's was a Raiders fan,
Yeah.
so she was like, "Yo, why you got that Niners stuff on in this
Right.
house?" And I
Mom's is a
remember
real one. Yeah.
Mom's is a real one.
The relationship was doomed to from the start. It seemed like. I'm sorry to interject myself in your family life,
yeah.
but
No. I'm gonna be honest with you. So usually I get my room decorated. I used to get my room decorated in like different teams, right? I always wanted the Niners. My mom
yeah.
said I cannot allow you to decorate your room in no Niners stuff. But if you want to do some Raiders colors, I can do the Raiders colors. I was like, I don't like the Raiders.
Yeah.
So throughout my life, I've had to have different teams. Like I remember the Titans. I like the Tennessee Titans because of Madden 2001.
Yeah.
I like Steve. I like this Steve McNair and Eddie George. So I had like my room in like Titans colors at one point. Then after that, we moved again. I was like, I want to be a Niners. She's like, oh, you can't do that, but you can do Raiders. I was like, I'm never doing that. She's like, well, you got to pick a different team. So then I was like a Steelers fan because of Cordell Stewart and Jerome Bettis. Yeah. And then it wasn't until recently that I could finally decorate my room in Eagles colors. It's not painted green,
right?
But I could like, I got Eagles stuff around. Like I got an Eagles comforter. I got a reserve for parking for Eagles parking. I got a few hats around here. So I was a Niners fan all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they started dismantling the team. Like I remember, I didn't keep up with football like when I was super young. So I remember I was like, "Where's Steve Young? Where did he go?" I didn't know he retired because of concussions.
Right.
But I remember Jeff Garcia loved him, TR loved him, JJ Stokes, Jerry Rice loved him. But then when he went over to the Raiders, he was like, "Oh, we know Jerry Rice going over to the Raiders. You can root for him." I'm like, Nah, I ain't gonna root. I'm like, T.O.'s the guy now. And 81, he's my dude. And then I remember I didn't like Dennis Erickson at all. And then it was like tearing down the team.
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna go with T.O. to the Eagles.
Okay.
And I was like, I became an Eagles fan, but then I was still secretly
a Niner
rooting for the Niners.
Right.
Like I watched the Niners probably that year after they went 2-14. Alex was first year and Franco was a beast. And then I watched the Niners a lot the next year. Like I was looking up papers on when Tim Tay was starting.
Right.
They had Ken Dorsey and
Ken
Cody
Dorsey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim and Couch. I was just like, you know, I was like, I can't do it. So literally, like, it's also funny because the year 2004, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. So a lot of people call me a bandwagon fan.
Right.
Which I kind of was technically, but also I went there because of T.O.
Right.
And then the next season is when I fully became, so it was like 2005 when I fully became an Eagles fan and didn't really care about the Niners no more. Like to this day, I can't root for the Niners like that. And I don't, like I somewhat, like I want to see a good game with the Raiders because that's the local game plan. But I'm not rooting for them. I just want to see a good game because most of the time they usually get blown out, you know. But sure. I always love Pacific players on the defense. Like I always pick trash teams in Madden, so the Raiders was like number one.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then number two was the Browns. And I remember one time I picked the Lions. And so it was always hard for me to play with the Eagles because our receiver core was trash. Like I remember the year our big signing in the offseason one year after we traded away T.O. or like released him, whatever. Our biggest signing was Kevin Curtis, who was the fourth receiver on the Rams.
Yeah. Listen, so I have a similar track, but in basketball. I'll say that real quick. I grew up a Laker fan only because I had a family that a family that worked for the Lakers, right? So I was getting free tickets all the time. And the Warriors were dog shit. The Warriors were, I mean, we could go to the games for $50 and sit front row seats. You know what I'm saying? You remember those days, but you had to have a team that made the playoffs. So I was a big Shaq fan, and when Shaq and Kobe broke up, I went with Shaq to the Heat, and then I became the biggest Kobe Laker hater of all time. And then around that time, after the Heat won the championship, I jumped back onto the Warrior bandwagon. And at that time, we were still we were putting up points, but we were trash, right? Like Monte Ellis was our best player.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So a theme that I noticed about your football journey, you picked a lot of teams with black quarterbacks.
Yep,
that's deliberate.
Yep,
talk about that.
I feel like it's deliberate, but also the fact that my dad, huge fan of Doug Williams. He followed his career. Like that's like Doug Williams and Barry Sanders and Marcus Allen is probably the three most talked about players in my household. Than my stepdad. But I don't call him my stepdad. He's been in my life since I was one. So, like, I used to say stepdad and biological father just to help other people out. But in real life, I never call him stepdad. So the three players he always talked about, Doug Williams, how great of a quarterback he was and how trash Tampa Bay was, and he still made them relevant. Barry Sanders, how dope he was and the crazy stuff he used to do, like watching him on Thanksgiving. He loved watching him on Thanksgiving.
And his trash team.
Yeah, and the trash team. And number three was Marcus Allen and how talented he was. And he told me how he was the best quarterback on the team, but he was playing running back. How graceful he was as a receiver. So those are the three main people he talked about. So I always had an understanding that black quarterbacks had a hard time. And then when I really became like a student of the game, because I always heard, when you playing football, they was like a lot of people don't know your history about football. They don't know a lot of stuff about this. So I became so NFL Network became a thing like 2004, 2005. I was like, I'm going to learn about this game and make sure I know a lot of these facts. And that's when I learned about how trash Tampa Bay really was and how Doug Williams got him to the, I think the AFC or NFC championship game, but tore his biceps so he couldn't play. And some of the racial discrimination he faced, somebody had this nice package and sent it to him, and it was a rotten watermelon. And they said if it wasn't for your black ASS, we would have won the game. And he was like, I had a torn bicep. You can't own his throwing arm. You can't throw with a torn bicep when you're throwing arm. And then other stuff. And he was like the Tampa Bay Bucks undermined him a deal.
Just to jump in real quick, the crazy part about that is that's not even that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
So for people that are just now understanding the racial divide that's happening in America, these horrendous things that you're yelling at grown adults yelling at kids, really 20-year-old to young 30-year-old boys playing a sport, men playing a sport. This shit didn't happen that long ago. Where you're talking about sending watermelons to people. You know how much hate you have to have in your. First of all, I didn't know you could send fruit to people.
But it was. He said it was wrapped up in a nice box. So he said he thought it was like this great gift, and inside it showed what it truly was. And you got to think about it too. The first black quarterback won a Super Bowl in 1987. I'm born in 1989. That's not that long ago. But then also I learned about the struggle of the black quarterback with this dude named Marlon Briscoe. First starting black quarterback was in the early 70s. The 70s. He started for the Denver Broncos.
Oh, yep. Right? Actually, I heard this story. Yeah, it's an amazing story.
Had a winning record. But didn't get another opportunity to play quarterback ever again. Like that all season, the coach, I believe, who was Lou Saban, was having all season meetings with other quarterbacks because he said, I just didn't like how you play quarterback. And he was like, well, give me a chance to play quarterback. I was successful, right? And then never got a chance to play quarterback again, got traded to the Dolphins. And I think he won a Super Bowl with the Miami Dolphins of the 71, 72, and 73 season. And he could only play wide receiver then.
They converted Marlon Briscoe to wide receiver after that season that he killed it. The season before, I believe their offense was dog shit. I only watched a brief on NFL Network, but I'm looking him up. It says he was born in Oakland, California. Did we know this? Okay. That's what I'm saying. Did we know this?
No.
Not Richmond though. There's not many greats out of Richmond, but Oakland, California. That's amazing.
Come on, bro. Well, we got to pause it real quick.
Yeah.
We got to pause it real quick. If anybody wondering why Oakland and Richmond never got along,
right?
And I always got to put on for my city of Richmond because everybody thinks you either from when you say Barry, you think from two places.
Yeah, Oakland or San Francisco.
San Francisco, and I always got to put on for my city of Richmond because I'm from there. And in Oakland and Richmond, always had beef growing up. So whenever somebody say you from Oakland, I'm like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Like I still kind of like, nah, I'm from Richmond. But the further and further out I get, I mostly say I'm from the Bay,
right?
And then I tell somebody what part of the Bay I'm from because I think about it.
Y'all think we're soft? Richmond people think we're soft.
I don't know about that.
Then what is the beef then? It's just the little brother feeling. Like we're
I think it's just hoods. I think the little brother feeling is honestly Berkeley. Bro, somebody told me, they was like, I'm from Berkeley, bro. It's hard out here. I said, where? You by UC Berkeley, one of the most hardest schools to get into. You're from Berkeley,
right?
It was one of those like, hey, bro, this conversation doesn't even have anything to do with you, bro. Like you need to go over there. Hey, what I tell you about talking to grown folks' business? I feel like that's Richmond and Oakland.
Well, you got the mixed kid that's Berkeley and Richmond, which is Albany, right? That's the little mulatto baby.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't even say that. I would say Berkeley and Richmond, the mulatto baby is El Cerrito because Albany is the suburbs of the suburbs.
Right.
If you live in El Cerrito, but if you live in El Cerrito and somebody lives in Albany, they look down on El Cerrito like, oh, peasants. And then if you want to talk big money, it's Kensington, which is way up the hills.
Yep.
Which is like starting at $2.5 million homes.
I love the beef. So obviously East Bay. I'm from Oakland, and then around like middle school, I went to Piedmont Middle, and then high school. And I love how Piedmont kids would always call everyone on the other side of the Caldecott tunnel rats. Yeah. Piedmont kids. I'm like, we have no grounds to talk any shit about anybody.
Yeah. It's so crazy. My stepdad is from Oakland.
Okay.
Talks all the time. He lets me know because I don't really know much about Oakland, but he's from there, grown up there and stuff. So he lets me know. He was like, hey, man, if anybody says I'm from Piedmont, you tell them you from East 14th, Oakland. And he was like, nah. He was like, people try to make Piedmont seem as like a separate place. He was like, no, you're part of Oakland. And it's so much so that Piedmont became their own individual town,
right? Because
they didn't be part of Oakland. Like, bro, you are Oakland.
No,
stop it.
You will never know. I mean, the tax situation is crazy. It's a donut hole of Oakland. It's right in the middle of Oakland, and they have their own mayor and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They did that on purpose.
They 100% did that on purpose. And then they see me there. It's like, wait a minute. I thought we left you in Oakland. What happened? How'd you end up here?
So much so, instead of calling East 14th, what is it called now? They changed the whole name of International Boulevard. Nah, that's East 14th. That's the one thing that's like saying I'm from so for us, right? It's I'm from Richmond, or I live in Marina Bay.
Yeah.
Which literally a ramp separates Central Richmond, which is next to South Side of Richmond, which we really got a beef with, which is one of the like hoodest parts you can be from, right? And then Marina Bay is a ramp that's next to the water, gated community, people jogging and stuff. And the only time people from Central Richmond or South Side of Richmond go over the ramp to Marina Bay, aka Richmond, just next to the water, is when people go pay their PG&E bill.
Right. Yo, Hilltop Mall was nice though.
It used to be, yeah.
Hilltop Mall was when they closed Eastmont Mall. That's when we.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying all these names, bro. This is like it's just been like shoved in a corner of my brain. I haven't been able to say all these places in forever.
Bro.
But yeah, Eastmont Mall closed, and we want to start going over to Hilltop, man. DD's discount.
The craziest thing about Hilltop Mall, the reason why Hilltop Mall was so great.
Yeah.
It was because it was like one of the bigger malls and stuff like that. So I heard the reason why Hilltop Mall started becoming whack or not making as much money. They started building malls in Concord, Fairfield.
Right.
I heard specifically, where is it? Emeryville, when they built up that place.
Oh yeah, Bayview, yeah, or Bay Street.
Bay Street, right? When they specifically built up Bay Street, that took a lot of the money from Hilltop Mall
Right.
out to Bay Street, so people couldn't. People, because Hilltop Mall, you see smacking. Everybody used to go to Hilltop Mall.
Right. They had the best 24.
Best 24. They had like the best everything at that mall. But then they start building these other malls in these other like suburban areas or just in these other areas. So people stopped coming to Hilltop Mall, and that's when it became trash.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we decided that we didn't have to, worry about our cars getting jacked while we run into the store.
Literally, you said you used to come from Oakland all the way to Hilltop Mall in Richmond.
Right.
That shows how far you had to travel to go to a good, decent mall.
Yeah, it's crazy. We only really had one, the one, like you said, out in Hilltop, and then they just blew up everywhere. Yeah, you're right. Concord and Sun Valley. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah. I'm sure that was on purpose too. We can get into that later on too. But back to the sports life. So like your stepfather, my uncle was the one that really hit me to the just how different it is for black quarterbacks in the league, right? They've obviously integrated the sports. A documentary I recommend if you haven't seen it is called, I think, Changing the Tide. It's about Alabama's college football team and when Paul Bear Bryant decided to finally try to get that school integrated. And to prove a point, he scheduled a game against USC so they can get their ass smacked, because USC was fully integrated by then. And then by the next season, they finally allowed some black kids on campus. But it's crazy that you have that, right, where they're like, we do need black players to play better. And then how do you go from that point to then all of a sudden thinking that black people aren't smart enough to play quarterback, right?
You can't think of position, not even quarterback. Think in positions,
right? Safety,
quarterback, center,
yeah,
middle linebacker, and safety, free safety specifically. Because free safety, I think you're back more. You like have to like read stuff. So those 4 positions was considered thinking positions, and they could think about it, they couldn't play. Black people weren't smart enough to think and play those positions.
But Corde, people believed that shit. How crazy is that?
I know.
That's not that long ago. We talk about racial injustice now. That's not that long ago. People believe that these African American players weren't intelligent enough to play these positions.
Exactly. Like that's why I always I wanted to play linebacker, which obviously I did. Willie Lanier, first middle linebacker, number 69 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, this how smart this brother was. You term like you got to get a perfect angle to make the tackle. You can't run you can't outrun an angle, but you can outrun Willie Lanier came up and coined the term angles and broke down football. Like when
pursuit angles.
Pursuit angles. He came up with that he treated football, added geometry to football. That whole thing came from Willie Lanier, a black middle linebacker who played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. Damn.
So like black people can't think. The dude who used the whole term of angles that we use to this day is black. So
So you played, obviously. What high school did you play at?
El Cerrito High.
And you played linebacker for El Cerrito High?
No, I played line.
You played line. Okay.
I played D tackle and left tackle. 5'10", 245 pounds, playing left tackle and D tackle.
Bruh, I'm 5'8". I grew probably 2 inches, so I was like 5'6". I was 190. I was huge, bro. I was a big ass kid. No athleticism, but I had all the brains in the world, bro. Like, the coaches couldn't wait for me to get hurt so they could put me on the sideline and actually help out with some of the play calling and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's how was El Cerrito? How was it squad?
We was actually pretty good. Funny about it, like so I gotta always say this. My 2 years on varsity, I never allowed a sack. Left tackle being only 5'10", 240
That's major.
pounds.
That's major because every left tackle has to be 6'4" and above.
Yeah. So I'm over here 5'10", like, because I remember technique was something. I went to Cal camp and it solidified my technique, but to a detriment of me playing defense, because I remember they was teaching us offense and defense, and I stayed on the offensive side the whole time. So on defense, I had one move. Bull rush.
That's all you had on defense.
That's all I had.
Yeah.
And then I remember Dwight Freeney days, like, try to spin, but my coach just told us not to spin. So I had one move. I'm just gonna bull rush him. I'm gonna try to just move past him. Like, I didn't know how to use my hands.
And if they stop that, then I tried. I did the move.
I'm just gonna keep pushing. I'm just gonna keep pushing. I'm apply pressure, but my homie, he had watched Reggie White film. He had the club, so he would come up and under people, so he could literally toss people because he has short arms, right?
Yeah.
So he could like get under people and he could like bench a lot. He benched like 315 his senior year of high school. Meanwhile, my
Right.
I got long arms. Like my arms was longer than my homies who was 6'2",
Right.
and I was 5'10".
Right. Oh, you could scratch your knees without bending over.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, right. So like my senior, I only benched 180 as a lineman, but my homies benching 315. Also, he had a gym membership, so that probably helped him as well.
So Kevin Durant could bench more than you?
My senior year, we probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but my arms are super long though. Like honestly, like coming like they go. They say it's like the closer you are to your knee or stuff like that, the longer your arms are. Like my arms was always past my waist, but his arms weren't. Like he had my homie had short and stubby arms, so he'd take the bench off and just be like this.
Right. It's easier. Yeah.
Whereas I'm taking the bench off, it's like this.
All the way up, right.
All the way up, all the way down. So yeah, so my technique was great for offense. And then our high school was dope. We had like a lot of talent. But we like underachieved our junior year. We went 6-4. We had a tough schedule, but also we had no real leadership with all this amazing talent. And then when I became a senior, me and my homie, this guy was short arms. We made sure we was like, we gonna lead this team. We gonna run everybody into the ground. We ain't repeating again because we were 6-4 and got bounced out first round of playoffs.
Do you remember?
Like got destroyed. What school? We was like, this ain't,
What school?
In Nashville Valley.
Okay.
I remember that to the T. I remember I had a good game though. I gotta say that I had a good game.
No sacks. No sacks.
No. No sacks on offense, but then on defense, I had like 8 tackles.
Okay.
As a D tackle. So that's
do you remember? Damn, that's crazy. You remember those stats like to this day though.
Oh yeah, because it was like I had a great game. And everyone was like, my homie was like, "You can have a good game." It was like he was like, everybody had a bad game except you. I was like, yeah, I was making hell stops. but
I was doing my job.
Well, it literally was because they ran like they just ran it. So they would line up and like they would have 9 dudes on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would have like a receiver to the far left, a receiver to the wide right, and then they would pull the guards and tackles and then just lead up on like the whole outside of the line. So you literally had like a whole bunch of people coming to the other side, and that's what they would do.
So they did like the De La Salle offense.
Basically, right?
Okay.
So in the second half, instead of me keep getting chipped by the center and getting chipped or like knocked down by the guard, we put a nose guard in front of the center. So because he couldn't chip me,
right,
I would just follow behind the guard every time he pulled and just made the tackle. So I just kept making those tackles over and over again. And I was like, that's how you beat it. You just got to have like an agile D tackle, put somebody over the nose, just follow the guard. He's going to like literally it's like follow the guard. He's going to take you to the plate. That literally just kept happening. I was like, go right, stop him, go left, stop him, go. And I just kept, they stopped. It was like, why can't we stop him? And I was like, I'm just following the dude. So yeah.
And then your senior year, you said you wanted to take more of a leadership role. How'd that season end up?
So we was 1-1, which I feel like we had less talent our second year but our O-line, because we were all like our first year on varsity, we all like joined together and like we became like a better unit overall. And then our leadership was a lot better, and we had a lot more speed on the outside, but we was a lot more unproven too, because our quarterback was like a 4th year quarterback. He started all 4 years on varsity, and then that was like his best year. And we saw more of like the spread because we weren't as big as we were our junior year. Like our junior year, we had like a tight end who was like 6. We had like an Algie Crumper looking tight end.
Y'all can move the line.
We had a fullback who rushed for 500 yards, 2 tailbacks who rushed for 1,000 yards.
Damn.
A dope receiver, another dope receiver who can only make his name was Moncrief. He could only make dope hard catches, but he couldn't make easy catches.
Oh yeah, we had a kid like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So he would drop the easy ball, like hit him in the hands, but then he'll make an amazing catch
diving,
like over 2 people. Which is ridiculous. I was like, bro, I was like, Moncrief, I hated you growing up. He was like, why? I was like, you would make the most ridiculous catches, like over somebody's head. So like
drop the slants.
Drop the slant.
Right.
I was like, but then he eventually switched to defense. Well, he played offense and defense, but in college he played defense, and that helped him because I remember he had 8 picks and he eventually went to Cal. But So our senior year, we was 8-1-1
Mm-hmm.
going into the playoffs. Had the number 1 seed versus the year before we had the 8 seed. So we were the best team. So first game we played Fremont, San Jose.
Right.
We played John F. Kennedy of Fremont.
Okay.
John F. Kennedy of Fremont. Destroyed them fools. They only won 3 games, so we blew them out like 45.
How did they make the playoffs?
That's how bad their league was.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
They had
at 3-1. At 3 wins, they were this 2 seed in their division.
They had 3 wins. The team below them had 2 wins. The team below them had 1 win.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I was like, God. But
what do you tell your team at halftime? And you guys have 9 losses and you're getting smacked. Like, what is the speech that the coach gives?
I don't know, man. But honestly, I was jealous. I was like, so I should have transferred to Fremont.
Right.
Of John F. Kennedy of Fremont, because they had a guard playing linebacker.
Right.
Who was about my size. He was probably a little more chubbier.
Right.
He was playing guard and linebacker. I was talking to him. I was like after in between plays, I was like, hey man, what's it like playing linebacker? He's like, it's tiring, but it's hella fun though.
Right.
You know, as a chubby kid, you like, I can play skill position. He's like, no, you can't. I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, I can. And then you like, well, I'm 240 and the middle linebackers in the league are 240. He was like, yeah, but those are the muscular. I'm like, but shouldn't I be starting at that position now since I'm 240, they 240 versus the dude who's like 210? But starting. So anyway, but
I finally got an opportunity to play my senior year. I finally lost enough weight but my speed wasn't there yet. I finally lost enough weight to finally, at least fit the linebacker position. Was for sure getting smoked out there by all the athletic players. But it was hella fun though. Yeah. Yeah.
So 8-2, number 1 seed. We beat Kennedy of Fremont. Blew them out 47-7. Next week, we played in Nation Valley, got revenge against them, blew them mofos out. Blew them mofos out like 40-something to like 14.
Yeah.
And then the next week we played Miramani. And for some reason, this year of all years, you're supposed to only play 2 games and you're supposed to go to the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
But this year we had to play 3 games and then go to the Coliseum. So we had to play Miramani at Pinole Valley High,
right?
Which we never had good luck at.
Yeah.
On a neutral field because they were coming from Walnut Creek and we were coming from El Cerrito. So we never played.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that field closer to you though? To El Cerrito?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was the one field the one loss we had on the season.
Yeah.
The one loss we had on the season was at Pinole versus Pinole.
Right.
So El Cerrito had never, like, my whole time of playing at El Cerrito, we never beat Pinole. So that's like a serious grudge I have against them. But so we had to play at the field that we've never won at against this like team. And those motherfuckers had 80 people on the goddamn sideline.
Right.
Like just, and most of us are going like both ways.
Right. Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
So they scouted us. They like knew all our plays. Our offensive coordinator had a meltdown. I was like, so like you said, you're hella smart, right?
Right.
I'm hella. I know. I'm hella smart too. Like I knew our plays. I was like, coach, the 41 pitch is working. 48 powers working, the toss or the blast. So I remember he was like, what's working out there? I was like, honestly, coach, I was like, no, like I knew some stuff. I knew some plays and I was trying to call them, but then I was saying some stuff, saying some plays that we should do. Somebody else was saying some stuff and somebody else, he was like, well, why don't we all just start at the goddamn same fucking time? And it's like walked off. I was like,
all right. Wait. I know, cause you have a good memory so far of your high school playing days. What's the greatest high school speech you've ever heard from one of your coaches? Well, like, if you don't have to remember like verbatim, but like, what was the situation and this coach, like, what made the speech memorable for you?
We never had any good like motivational speeches from a coach, I believe.
Okay.
Never. The greatest speech that my homie gave, he was a linebacker, his name was Cedric Smith. We was in the middle of the game and like, you know how you huddle up? He was like, hey, grab your brother's hand. And I was like, what? He said, grab your brother's hand. He was like, we got to stick together. We got to stop. We got to stop letting them get there. We got to stop letting them convert on third down.
Right.
D-line, I need you to get there. Snell, I need you to get there. And I was like, and bro, like you say this is like like, but that, like, in that moment, like, it was like one of those bonded moments, like, cue the music,
Right.
you turn around, and then,
Right.
like, from that day forward, like, our defense, like, started to play hella good together. We stopped allowing big plays. I remember that moment he did it. I think it was, like, the 5th game or 4th game of the season. He did that, and he would only do it in, like, key moments when we needed stops.
That's the speech that you give right before the montage comes on, right? And all the music, and then they play through. Yeah,
exactly. That was the speech. I remember he gave that speech. I remember I told him after the game. I said, "Hey man, you touched me when you said that."
Right.
He's like, "Bro, I didn't even know what I was."
Right. It just that's what they always say. This shit just be coming out you. Yeah.
He was like. I was like, all right. I said, don't call me. He's like, no, I need pressure. Hit him late. He was like, Mays. This was my homie. Mays, if you get back there, hit him late, knock him out, break his leg, right?
Right.
And he was like, DBs, if you allow somebody a play over your head, I swear to God, I'm gonna tell coach to take you out. And I'm just, he holding everybody accountable. He was like, if I miss a play, get on my ass too.
Right.
And then I was like, we just came together in that moment, played lights out defense. But
that's amazing.
But we couldn't sustain it in that game because our offense can do nothing. Like, I think we were down 10 points with 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
I think it was like 20-30. And we had a terrible field goal kicker, so it was really 2 touchdowns down. And we just couldn't muster up like nothing. Like, sorry, my eye is tripping or whatever, but we couldn't muster up anything. And because our offense never made adjustments, we just kept dropping back, throwing hella deep. Like, instead of like meticulously working your way down the field, we're like, nah, drop back. Let's throw 20 yards. Let's go 30 over here. Let's
they were trying to get it all in one play.
Yeah. Right. I was like, let's run the ball. And he was like, I was like, and my quarterback was like, what the fuck you think I want to do? Like, I'm like, and then I was like, do this. Come here. I was like, come here. Tell him the tackle down works, which is basically like it's a DN like next, like outside of me, right? And instead of me blocking him, I crash down on the linebacker.
Right.
The fullback kicks out the DN.
Right.
So it creates like another hole, so where like the running back can just go up and just runs like so I just basically like I push you out this way.
It's like outside zone read, right? It's like outside zone kind of run. Yeah.
But it's more of it's like more of an inside, which is like if I get the linebacker this over here.
Yeah.
And then the fullback is like the end that's over here. Mm-hmm. You create this like line that's just like it's only should be between like our fast running back and the safety. Yeah. And if you make the safeties like miss, it's touchdown.
It's gone. Yeah.
It's like automatic touchdown. And then, but our fullback wasn't the smartest dude, and he kept. I said tackle down. I would block down on the linebacker, and then he would go outside, and the end just came and hit our running back. So it didn't.
Who was the greatest player you remember you've ever played against in high school?
The greatest player I ever played against. One was a linebacker. Two. It was two. It was maybe 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
One was this quarterback from Jesse Bethel. We were told that he had a scholarship to USC. He ran a 4.3, and like they don't think we can win this game. This is also my junior year. We got blown out that game. I think it was final score was like 48-7 or 48-14. And I remember it was crazy because I remember I'm playing D line. He's a quarterback. I break through the line. Mm-hmm. And I make him scramble out, right? And I'm running towards it. I'm like, okay, I can get him. Then all of a sudden, he saw us come near him, and just instead of like just trying to throw it, took off. And I remember me chasing after him, and it seemed like he was getting faster as he ran away.
Right.
And then my homie Moncrief, so the receiver who couldn't catch, but he played safety. He was a better safety than he was a receiver. He was like, man, everybody talking about that dude. Hey, it's hell fast. I almost caught him. I was like, Moncrief. But you didn't.
But you did.
And he was like, nah, he ain't that fast. Like, Moncrief, you're one of the fastest dude on our team.
Right.
And he still ran by you. Right. Also, you're the only one who could possibly catch him.
Right.
None of us can. I was like, so if he get outside of us, he's gone. That's what he just keep drop back, roll right, and then go straight. So basically when Mike Vick dropped back, rolled left against the Minnesota Vikings and just took off. That was basically how he did. Yeah. But there was no linebackers coming between them to like hit him. No, that was just him running through guys. He was untouched. Like I never seen somebody. I was like, and I remember my head coach, he was like, yo, what the hell's going on out there? I
Yeah.
was like, Coach, he just fast. He was
Yeah.
like, no, you gotta try to stop him. I was like,
Yeah.
Coach, I did
I
try to
don't know
stop
what
him.
you want, Coach. I don't know what you want here.
I was like, Coach, he ran past our corners who's supposed to be fast. What you want me to do? I'm a D tackle.
Right.
And I just like, I just walked over and got water. He was like, you got to make a stop. I was like, all right, Coach, whatever. I just like,
What you want from me, man? All right. So then the part that I'm a little bit more excited about because I had watched not Hard Knocks. I had watched Last Chance U.
I don't watch that. I don't watch that
At all. Not even
at
the one
all.
that just came out.
Nope.
So not even the season about Laney.
Nope. The school I went to. Nope.
All right. That was the question I was
No, we could talk about it.
I was hoping the interview would go in that direction.
We could talk about it. So after high school,
what happened after high school?
I went to Laney to play linebacker, right?
Okay.
Was
the coach there at the time? The same coach?
Yes, Coach Beam. He wasn't the head coach. It was Coach Ooch.
Okay.
Coach Ooch was the head coach. He was the defensive coordinator. Coach Beam was the offensive coordinator. So this is where I met Calvin. Shout out to our homie Calvin Logan. This is where I met him. So I was a lineman, transitioned to linebacker. So I went from like 240, 245 down to 215.
That's a lot.
And then bulked up to 235.
That's crazy.
So right. Like I remember my trainer had me running from June all the way to the day before Halloween. So I shed any potential muscle I had and any fat and then just bulked up, right? So it's spring, we get in trouble. I'm taking Cytomax, protein shakes, and creatine and glutamine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Creatine drains or makes you like hella dehydrated. Mm-hmm. And I had stopped drinking Gatorade because I was trying to lose weight because it's too much sugar.
There's a lot of sugar in it, yeah.
Right. So I didn't have no Gatorade in me. I was just drinking water. We get in trouble. Our coach decides, hey, y'all gonna run 20 hashers, not gassers, hashers. Yeah. Hashers is from one side of the field to the other side. Yeah.
He said 20?
20. First hash back, second hash back, third, all the way to the other side and back. I'm running these full speed because my trainer told me, who's also I consider my big bro, he was like, yo, you got to treat yourself like you're an undrafted free agent trying to make this dope football team.
Right. When you had
Laney was like dope. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Which for people that don't know, Laney is a community. I mean, it's a 2-year college essentially. Most people will go there and transfer. Yeah.
To like a D1, wherever they want to go. So, I'm running full speed to try to like impress the coaches. I'm running full speed. Halfway through, a few people, we thought it was a break, so it was at 10. And then a few people go and get water, and I was about to go get water. He was like, who the fuck said y'all could get water? Get back on the line. 10 more. I'm running them, people jogging. I'm running past people. I get to 18, then people start going faster, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, let's get water. No, we ain't getting water. Line up in lines. So we line up in lines by position and stuff like that, right? He was like, we doing up downs, right?
Oh, God.
We did 100 up, right? After this, we did 100 up downs. And then when I say go, he said, when I say go, the person who's in front, run down to the opposite goal line and then run back and then get to the end line. And we're going to keep doing this until everybody's done. Man, also, by the way, it was 90-some degrees that day, so that means it's 100 on the field. So I'm sweaty. I got no legs. I got no water, so I'm just like drenched. Also, I worked out that morning too.
Yeah, right.
So I'm dehydrated. So then after all that, I remember this lineman was beating me by the time I got to the front. I'm trying to do up downs, exhausted, came. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to jog.
Right.
And then literally as we walking off the field, I said, all right, now it's time for the weight room. I'm like,
shit.
Right. On my way from getting off the field, it was a dude named Saeed. Right. And I'm just like walking. I said, hey, Saeed, man. He's like, what? He's like, you don't look so good. I was like, I don't feel so good. I kind of collapsed, right?
Damn.
He calls the trainer, Greg, and then they come pick me up, like take me on this little card back to the thing. He gave me something. He's like, what you been taking? I said, I was taking protein shakes, glutamine, and creatine. He's like, did you drink any Gatorade today?
Yeah.
I said, nah, Gatorade got too much sugar. He was like, I had hella salt on my face.
Oh shit.
He's like, you're lacking electrolytes. I think you might have had a heat stroke.
Yeah. Damn.
So he gave me 2 32 ounces of Gatorade. The first one I killed like hella quick.
Yeah.
Second one I got through halfway. He was like, hey, stop drinking it so fast. drink it slowly so your body can like intake it, stuff like that, right? So I literally had a heat stroke on the field, and then I think a few days later, Coach Ooch was the head coach, told me, "Yo, Snell, who the fuck has a heat stroke?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Who the fuck has a heat stroke? You weak, man." He's like, "You El Cerrito people, y'all stay being lazy, having heat strokes. Who the fuck has a heat stroke?" I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Motherfucker, I could have died out there." And you talking about who the fuck has a heat stroke?
Yo,
At that moment,
yeah.
I was like, yo, fuck Beam, fuck this team. And then also, I had already gray shirted. So for people who don't know, you take only 9 units and you stay on a certain amount of units and you try to play the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Then they was trying to tell me, that, oh, they're comfortable with the linebackers they got and we don't need you, but do you want to play center? And I was at 260 at this point, but I had stopped taking creatine because I went from 230 to 240 to 260.
Yeah.
But you bulking up for like the off season.
Right.
And then I stopped taking creatine for a month and literally lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Because it was all water weight. So
so that shit happens. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, I was like, wow, I'm about to, because I was like, training camp don't start till August. I was like, it's May. I'm about to work with a speed coach and whatever. And he gonna get my speed up, and then like we gonna keep working so I could play linebacker. I could probably be like 230, 225. He was like, losing weight don't make you fast. I was just like, what? I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, we really want you to play center. And I was like, I played O-line in high school, and I was just like, nah, coach.
Yeah.
After having a heat stroke, you trying to tell me now?
Yeah.
So then I went to Chabot for like a few weeks.
Yeah.
And like they had like for some reason they had 20 or 12 outside linebackers. Everybody wanted to play Will. Nobody wanted to play Mike.
Right.
And I remember I was just like, I'm playing. He said, "Which time you play Will?" I was like, "No, I'm trying to play Mike. I want to call the plays." Okay, cool. And then
So what? So you're beating your body up at this. I mean, you're beating yourself up. You're taking a lot of all this abuse. What was the game plan at this point? Like, did you think that was Cal the dream, or like what was the game plan for you? Why were you putting yourself through all this?
Oh, I wanted to go to a D1. Fresno State is what I had in mind.
Did you think the league was at this point
absolutely,
also?
Absolutely,
okay. So you're going to go 2-year D1 league.
Okay. I mean, no, it's no other. I got a personal trainer. I'm working out. There's no other reason why I'm putting my body through all this stuff.
Right.
So Chabot was there for a few weeks, didn't go there. But then I went to Contra Costa, and they had just went 1-10, or they just won 2-8, and it's all come there because my mom ran into one of my old coaches, and then he called his homie who was the head coach, and he was like, "Well, come here, we'll let you play after me. Just keep training and stuff like that." Because I was like, "Should I red shirt or shirt again and play somewhere?" I was like, "I'm not trying to shirt again." I was like down in the press, so I went to CC. I was like, well, they trash, so I can start there.
Right.
So I went there, and I'm looking around, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, there's trash.
This school really is trash.
Right.
Like Laney and Chabot had a system.
Yeah.
Had a system. They ran stuff smooth. Like Chabot, the funny thing about Chabot was scared of Laney.
Huh.
They was like, man, our defense can't stop nobody, and yada, yada, yada. So I went to Contra Costa, and I was like, people barely getting their pads. People don't know the offense or the defense. And I was like, cool, I don't know the offense or defense either. So if I just learn this shit hella quick, I can
you jump ahead everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, people would say, "Oh, you just now coming out?" I was like, "I just came out like last week." "What about you?" "I just came out last week too." "What about you?" "I just came out last week."
Right.
"You working out?" "Nah." "You working out?" "Nah." I'm like, "I'm working out." But workout shape and football shape is different.
Right.
So try to make this try to speed up. So one day I was playing, they had me as strong. I wanted to play middle. They put me as strong, and they playing 4 wide. So I'm out here covering like a slot receiver.
Yeah, every time.
That shit ain't working.
That's the hardest, which by the way, that's one of the hardest defensive positions to be guarding the slot, because they can go outside, inside, or straight up.
Outside, inside.
Yeah.
And I was literally matched up against the fast dude at times. And I told Coach, "Coach, I don't want to play strong."
It don't make sense, Coach.
I was like, "I want to play middle."
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, we got some middle linebackers," and then they kind of like stopped playing, and they moved me to middle. And then I was the backup middle linebacker, and they had this dude who had been there who knew all the plays, but he was hella slow. Like he couldn't read fast.
He was me.
Yeah,
he was me.
Probably.
Okay.
So like he would like say go.
Right.
and then move.
Right.
And then I had a coming out game, was like the third game of the season. I had like 3 tackles on special teams and like 5 tackles in the game in the second half. And I should have had 12 because I remember I missed a sack one time because I remember he rolled left and then I was about to get him and then he kind of juked back and then this lineman came and hit me. And then I kind of like still was able to spin off him and chase him. And then me and my homie both came together and hit him. And then that game, so we're going to switch some stuff around. We're going to make some changes, right?
Right.
It's like, Nick, you're not fast off the ball, but we're going to like put you at D tackle and we're going to make you just fire off the ball. He was like, what? And he was like hella mad. And he was like, Snell, you are starting middle linebacker? I'm like, yes.
Right. You made it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually had a pretty good season. I think I finished with like 60 some tackles after not starting the first few games.
That's amazing. So and along this point, like, are you able to be talking to like D2, D3 schools at this point? Like, do you have any interest?
Not really. I wasn't, because CC is not like this heralded school and stuff.
No, it's not like Laney. Yeah,
not like Laney at all. So the coach was telling me though, because me and my homie, we both didn't start at the beginning of the season, but by the end of the season we did, and we were basically like, I called him. I was Kirk Morrison. He was my Thomas Howard.
Thomas Howard, yeah.
Right? Because he could cover too, but he was like physical, and then I was like calling the plays, and I was blitzing. I was bigger than him.
Yeah.
And then like I remember our coaches like afterwards, they was like, "Hey man, because our offense was trash. Like think of the 2005 Raiders when they had Andrew Walton when y'all went 2-14, right? When y'all had like no offense, right? But y'all had like Kirk, y'all had this great defense.
Justin Fargas was our starting running back, dude.
Right. Like, so that's what I was thinking was like me and him was dope on defense, but our offense couldn't move the ball. One game, they didn't get to the 40-yard line till I think it was 5 minutes left in the second half. So you start on the 20.
Yeah. They couldn't get 20 yards of offense, right.
Right. And that game was dope too, because I remember on 4th and 1, I blew up the fullback, came out of my shoe, and forced a fumble, and we recovered.
Yeah,
like bro, I was doing some crap. Like I was really
you did the Javion Clowney right there.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like came before it was him. Yeah, it was dope. I had a dope. Yeah, but we still lost that game 20-0 because our offense didn't score.
Yeah. So, and you said something earlier too when your coach was calling you, I believe, soft. Was it because you had a heat stroke? I just think back to some of the football advice I got from my coaches, and they were like the worst advice ever. Like, don't rest. You have plenty of time to sleep when you die. It's like, no, coach, I probably will die a lot sooner. Like, that is horrible advice.
You a rapper?
Right. What's
I think Big Sean said that shit. I think Big Sean said that, bro.
What's some of the worst advice you've gotten from a football coach that you like didn't realize until later on?
Nah, it was some shit that it was like, why are you stretching?
Yeah. Yes.
It's like, you shouldn't stretch, you should be ready, you should just go out there and start playing. I was like,
no.
What you mean? It's like, what? He's like, all this stretching is nonsense. I was like, what? Like, stretching is nonsense? I mean, you ever heard of a pulled hamstring, coach? He's like, that's because y'all ain't hydrated or y'all not lifting enough. I was like, coach, you got to stretch.
Right. Yeah.
You should just deal with the pain. Don't take painkillers or some shit like that. I was like, don't get treatment because when you get treatment, that makes your body worse or something like that.
Yeah. Don't go to the cupcake shop. They used to call it the cupcake shop. They used to make us feel bad for getting our ankles wrapped up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was like, coach. I was like, what? Why is it bad that I'm getting my ankle wrapped? Like, yo, like if I ain't trying to bust my ankle out here, I should get it wrapped. Nah, you shouldn't. Why not, coach? Tell me why. It's like, well, I remember ankle braces. Well, ankle braces was a big thing. Yeah. I remember they was like, well, why you got those ankle braces on? So I don't roll my ankle or hurt it. So you think you're gonna roll your ankle and hurt it? I was like, it's a precaution. He was like, so you use it as a precaution because you think you're gonna get hurt? I was like, well, coach, should I play without a helmet?
Right. Or should I drive without a steering or without a seatbelt? Like, it's a precaution.
I was like, I was like, Coach, all right, so Coach, should I just be the only player out there with no shoulder pads? Just go out there begging?
Right.
Like, oh, like you soft for wearing shoulder pads, Coach?
Right. You got yelled at a lot, didn't you? You was definitely
Oh,
a smart ass. You was definitely a smart
a
ass.
little bit, little bit,
Yeah.
little bit.
Okay.
So when I went to CC, I like my coach rated me. He
Which
said
is
when I
San
first
Francisco
joined
City
CC.
College, by the way. For
Oh, for
anybody,
real?
yeah.
You crazy? You crazy?
People don't know.
Bad.
Oh no, I'm talking about. I'm sorry, Contra Costa. You're right. CCC. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said you went to SF City. I
No,
was
no,
gonna
no,
say
no, no,
like,
no. You're not
okay.
talking about SF City, right?
No, I'm talking. No. I'm talking about Contra Costa
Contra Costa.
College.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Nah, City was the worst school to go to. It was the best but worst to go to
Yeah.
because they used to have 120 people come out for tryouts,
Damn.
and then I used to hear like, let's say if you were working hard and then you were doing good, sometimes a player would get in trouble at Colorado, USC, Ole Miss, and it would just bounce back to
Oh.
City, and then your starting
Oh.
position will be gone because they literally only got 1 year and they about to go somewhere else.
Right. Wow. Damn.
So they was like, not only do you got to compete with everybody who there, you got
Yeah.
to compete with some mofo just like, I got in
Right.
trouble over here, I got
Right.
kicked out, I got to come to City. Because they said the head coach at City literally knew Pete Carroll. Like, literally would call people up. Like, when you were, people's like, he's like, oh, what's your name? Oh, where you want to go? I want to go to USC. All right, hold on. He's like, yeah, Pete, we got, what's your name? Such and such here. He might be a baller for us. He played cornerback or safety. Look out for him like in about 2 years.
Is that where Jeremiah Maselli transferred to? Do you remember the Oregon quarterback?
Yeah.
He got caught stealing at Oregon, and then he, I think, didn't he go to the City, and then he ended up going to Ole Miss?
Yep. Exactly. What
Yup, yeah, he played at City. Damn, could you imagine you the starting quarterback at City? You work your ass off, and then Jeremiah Masoli gets caught stealing laptops.
Yep.
And up in,
but like, sorry, bro. I know you worked hard and stuff like that, but we just got this dude from Oregon,
right?
Pac-10 quarterback of the year, before the Pac-12. So he gonna start for us, but you can back him up and you can shirt.
You can learn a lot from him, really.
You can, and then hopefully wish for blowouts, and then we get some film because you put you in the second half. If we up 40, you can play for a whole quarter, come up with some film. Like, imagine that. Like, that's how bad City was. So back to weak ass Contra Costa. So my linebacker coach, I'd say as a coach, give me an honest evaluation of how I was from the start of the season to the end. He was like, scale of 1 to 10. He was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, you first started out, your skill level was about a 2. Like, as a linebacker. I was like, damn, coach. He was like, nah. He's like, nah. Let me finish. He was a skill level. You read slow. You didn't know the plays. You didn't know stuff, but you always came and worked. He was like, so after your first year, I was like, well, what am I now? He was like, honestly, you about like a 6.5, 7. Like a 6.5. So I was like, damn, that's a lot of growth. He's like, that is a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, damn, coach, hopefully I can keep growing and get to like that 9 or 10 to get like to a D1. He's like, yeah, hopefully. But then I ended up getting sick, which I call sick. I had a seizure, and I missed out on that whole next season. Went back to playing, put on all his weight because of all the medicine they gave me. Went back to playing D tackle, which I probably should have played O-line because because linebacker, I was pretty good at linebacker, but I really wasn't a good D tackle. Like, I didn't going back to those moves. I just had the bull rush. I used to work my hands. So I had a bull rush, and I developed like a push and pull. Like, I'll push against you, and I'll pull you down, and I'll go like that.
Right.
But in game situation, I would never do moves.
Yeah.
Like when I'm going to get somebody.
It's just because it's not second nature. It's you gotta think about it too much, and then I got you. Yeah.
I think as a D lineman, I still had an offensive lineman mentality. And I should have played O line. I always think back to I should have played O line when I.
No, but you didn't enjoy it though. That was the whole reason why you didn't play at when you didn't play. Yeah.
Laney. Right. But that was different though, because I was like, now I was officially a D lineman because I remember when I came back from like all these seizures and stuff like that, and all this medicine they put. Okay, this is how crazy it was. So I had so much medicine. I went from 240 till about 276 in a month from all this medicine they put on me. So by the time it was like the spring ball to start, like February, I was like 305.
You got to 3? Damn.
Yeah. So there was no shot of me playing linebacker, but in my mind, I was thinking I could, like, if I just lost like pounds, I could be back to 240 playing linebacker. It never happened. The lowest I got down to like 270, 275. Wasn't gonna play. So I was like, in my head, I was like, I should switch over to O line, play guard or center, and I get a scholarship that way. Didn't do it. first game of the season. Also, before I was on my season started acting up again. First game of the season, I had 5 tackles, a sack, and then my teammate, I jumped on a pile and I was rolling off because I was like, I got to try hard. I got to be jumping on piles. I got to do all this kind of stuff.
Mm.
Well, I jumped on the pile, rolled off. As I was about to get up, my teammate jumps over the pile, misses the pile, lands on my knee. And I sprained my MCL. And I'm out 8 to 10 weeks.
Oh, that's your last year too.
Yeah, last year. College football career over.
Damn.
Like I was like, damn. I was like, this wouldn't happen if I was playing O-line.
Right.
And then after that, like the love of the game lost me because already at this point I already hated I hated playing. I hated practicing.
Yeah.
But then after when the game was away, I was like doing all this like these classes. I was like not missing going to practice and all this stuff. And then earlier that year was the first time I ever tried comedy. So then I was like, well, maybe I might try this comedy thing out. So, and then I was like, I'm gonna try comedy. I'm gonna try school. And then that's literally, I started making a transition from former student athlete to school. Because I remember he was like, you could come back out. And I was like, Coach, I don't know, man. No, I ain't trying to work out for a whole nother season. Also, it was going from a 4-3, which I was going to play like the 3 technique, the Warren Sapps of the world, to a 3-4. He was like, can you play defensive end? I was like, I'm not 6'5". He's like, well, how much you weigh now? I was like, Coach, I'm 275. He was like, well, we need you to be like 300 to play nose. I was like, he's like, you want to move to offense? I was like, yeah, I'll move to offense.
Right.
So, and then when I came back and started working, he's like, we're going to put you a DN. I was like, I ain't no DN.
Right.
Not no 3-4 scheme.
Right.
Like, put me a center. But I didn't know he was recruiting centers and stuff to come play. In my head, I still probably could have played center or guard, but it was just past me at that point. And I remember later that summer, I started working, and I was just like, fuck. I should go back and play. But I was like, I'm out of shape. It's going to take me a few months. And I should have said, like, fuck it. I'm just going to play. But I was like, nah, I'm working now. I'm cool. And then my football career was literally over.
Did you still end up transferring to another school?
Yeah. I ended up transferring to a 4-year college that didn't have football.
Right. Oh, wow. Where'd you go?
UC Santa Barbara.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Why you went to UCSB. And now it all comes full fucking circle.
Now it all comes full circle.
Yeah.
But the funny
how did you settle on Santa Barbara?
Oh, so literally one of my best friends went there. I never heard about Santa Barbara until he went there. And literally they was like, yo, your best friend, Edgar, he went to UC Santa Barbara. You should go there too. And I'm just like, I mean, that's my dog and everything, but I'm not trying to follow him. I need to blaze my own path. I can't keep following my homie, right?
Right.
Then I saw the campus layout of UC Santa Barbara.
Right. Right.
I was like, wait, this your campus?
Where do I sign?
Oh, yeah. Like we're right next to the beach. Y'all next to the beach?
Right.
Oh, what? I was like, yeah, we got our own lagoon. Lagoon? I don't even know what that was.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds tight though.
I was like, this is what your campus look like?
Yeah.
Also, the recruiter was this bad Latina chick.
They knew what they was doing.
Yeah,
they knew what they were doing. Yo, I swear to God, every person from the Bay that I've talked to that went to UCSB all give the same exact account. They never really heard about it before. Yep. They went for their visit, and they didn't even see everything. They didn't even get past the cafeteria. They're like, yeah, bet. Why would I go anywhere else?
Yeah. So which is hella funny because I remember also what she talked about how she was a former lawyer but decided or wanted to go to a law route but decided to become more of a counselor and helping people out like in like the office and stuff, like the office life. And I thought because she was going there for political science and like lawyer and stuff, which is what I wanted to do initially, I thought it would be a great reason too, and I was going to stay in touch with her. So I thought that was like,
Yo, the first girl you met in college, you're like, oh, this the one.
Yeah. Well, no, not like the one, but I was like, oh, if this college has like ways for me to get into law school,
right?
That's good then. Like, cause my mind track was like, I'm gonna go to law school. So if this school got law school stuff, well, I'm gonna go here then. Right. And then also I found out from my homies that UC Santa Barbara had a comedy group which they performed every Saturday. Another dude booked his own shows, like 4 shows a week. And he was like, yeah, the people who come out down here, they do about 10 shows a week. I was like, 10 shows a week?
Right.
I can get down with that.
Right.
Right. And then also, which is a dope fit, and I liked the school, but it was close though. I was it was choosing between UC Santa Barbara and UC Davis. I have visited Davis twice. That's how much I liked it. And then I had never visited Santa Barbara yet. And then when I went down to Santa Barbara,
it's like beach or cows.
yeah,
Yo, it's like
yeah,
that's not a hard comparison. So so you've mentioned the comedy thing a couple times. Like,
yeah.
where at what point has that intersected where you thought that you could do stand up? Like,
Okay,
people always just told you were funny, or what?
nah. So okay, two things.
Yeah,
I always say my cousin Jorbert is way funnier than me. He's been funny since day one, but he's a
right,
pretty boy,
right,
athlete. He just
right,
like talented, gifted dudes, right? Like I always say that. Like I'm like, bro, you should do comedy. He's like, nah, bro, I'm not.
right,
I'm not funny. I'm like, bro, you used to tell jokes all the time. What are you
right,
talking about? But you're a
right.
pretty boy athlete, so right.
Yeah,
2010, that same season when I tore my I was trying to come back from
yeah.
seizures, but then also I was playing D line. I tried comedy for the first time in that April, but I never count.
Well, why and where? Which like where?
And so Ed Trash Ass Contra Costa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They had a theater there. I was taking a
Okay.
drama class. Oh, get this story, bro. It was like my whole like career could have been different. It was either take a drama acting course or a La Raza studies class, one of the two, right? And I'm like, I love Latin chicks.
Right.
I'm taking a La Raza studies class, but the counselor was like, oh no, the drama acting course, right, is literally about to end soon. You can go and ask for an ad code because they need a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
So the class don't get canceled. My homie, I was like, all right, well, cool. I'm going to go talk to her, but we're going to probably sign up for the Raza studies class. My homie didn't go.
Yeah.
I did, and I got the ad code, and I saw like 3 people who I knew. I was like, oh shit, okay, well I'm gonna join this. I'm just gonna be hanging out because I had took a drama class beforehand.
Yeah.
I really didn't do nothing. I got a B. I was like, oh, this is gonna be another easy A.
Right.
I didn't know we were literally practicing lines. We were literally having number scenes.
Oh, y'all acting in here? I thought, yeah.
I thought we were just gonna be watching some video.
Right.
But I had to remember a Shakespeare sonnet. Shakespeare sonnet 116, bruh. I don't remember it, but I remember this other one that everybody used to quote. It was like, should I compare thee to a summer's day?
Yeah.
Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Wind dew shapes the month of May. Like, like, bruh, that will forever be it's in my mind. So literally I got into that, and then I remember I was just making fun of people, roasting.
Yeah.
Growing up, like 8th grade, started roasting people. High school, me and my homies used to roast each other every day.
Yeah, that's how you showed that you cared about them. You talk,
right?
you ripped them. Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
So I literally had this comedy background that I didn't know I had, and also I grew up on Comic View. Grew up on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was like it was always there, but I didn't know it, and so I kind of unlocked it when I took this acting course. And I remember I was just mocking one of my professors one time, like just like doing like I was like his name was I forget his name, like as Ivory, Professor Ivory.
Yeah.
He'd be like, short dude, like 5'4", but he was like had a deep voice, and he just like very serious, like, so the scene you're doing, you're not devoting enough time to it to where you can actually make the words your own.
Right.
You need to go home, study it, come back tomorrow. Well, we don't have class tomorrow. Thursday. And then you should be able to make it more your own.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, hey, bro, did you talk to your wife like that? Like, excuse me. I think you're attractive. I'm free Friday. Now, I'm going to pick you up. Not even giving her an option. I'm going to pick you up. 7 p.m. in my nice car. Wear something fancy,
right,
to make the guys jealous.
Right.
I'll see you on Sunday.
You did a whole thing.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, wait. I was like, but you got to give her a few pointers because this is the second date after it goes good. So I had a good time the first date. Didn't like your outfit.
I knew you. That's hilarious.
I was like, come back, go to the store, buy something better that you think that's going to be sexy and that I will like. And then we could try this again.
He said, make it your own.
So I'll pick you up next Friday.
Yeah.
Same time, same bat channel. And bro, he was dying. He was
Oh,
like,
he was laughing.
he was laughing
Oh
like
shit. Okay.
you are a fool. This is hilarious. You should try doing comedy. I was like, no. And then literally
I
one
said
day
no.
I said no. Literally one day, my other professor, because it was taught by two different teachers. Her name was
Yeah.
Kathy McCarthy. She like literally one day, everybody was coming in, and I roasted them as they came in. They started to start. I was like, "Oh snap, that's such and such who always be coming late, stuff like that." But I always got an excuse on why they late. Like I saw you over at the cafeteria, that Subway, just talking to some female. Oh,
Right.
what's up, Mr. Charles?
You just wake up ready to shit on people, bro.
Just roasted. And then I'm just going, and then my teacher's like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, Kathy, what's up? Oh, my bad." I was like, "Oh, this is Kathy McCarthy, who always said, okay, class, let's get up. Let's start doing this stuff. Okay, the big black bug bit a big black bear, made the big black bear bleed blood. Let's do some warm-up stuff like that. All right, come on. You're not doing it enough. Everybody, come on. This is going to affect your grade, right?" And she was just like, it's like, stand up. I was like, why? She's like, stand up. I stood up. She's like, you don't have this written down? I was like, no. She's like, you're not reading from a piece of paper? I was like, no.
Yeah.
You just came off this the top of your head? So yeah, I'm very observant. She was like, she's like, where have all this been and why aren't you doing comedy? I was like, I'm not funny enough to do comedy. I just like talk about people and do funny stories. She's like, that's comedy. and literally because this random rendition I did,
Yeah.
I got into comedy. Also, they said I was
amazing.
super talented in the class and I started acting. So this is 2010.
Yeah.
But I always tell people I didn't start serious comedy until 2012 because I never did an open mic. So whenever our shows were, so the first show I ever did was April 10th, 2010.
Uh-huh.
I remember that initially it started off rough because I started a joke out and I was saying like, I was like, I like to go to the gym. I'm a big dude.
Right.
So everybody was like,
right.
like, and I was like, oh, bro, what'd you say? Oh, and then like this whole theater of people was like 100 people.
Right.
100 people start laughing at me, but someone's like, shh, calm down, no, let them speak, let them speak. I said, I like to go to the gym. We heard that. I was like, for the women. Oh, okay, I go there too. And then I did my whole set, and then I got like an applause. I got an applause, and hella people was like, yo, dude, that was hella funny.
Right.
Funny as fuck for that. And then, but I would only do shows like once every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my show, open mic, all in the same time. And then I remember I had this other show with Tommy T's for the first time, and I did not do good because they gave me 10 minutes. The most I ever did at that time was 5.5.
Right.
And I stretched this joke hella long, and it was not funny.
Yeah.
And so I did like, okay.
Yeah.
I brought a girl there to come see me.
Yeah, of
Family
course.
came. And then I didn't do that well.
Yeah, I remember early on, man, like, you get an opportunity like at Tommy T's and you're like, yo, I made it. This is it. Like month 3 in, right? So you invite everybody. No, you got to wait. You invite the people you don't care about to the first year of your.
Also, I did the math. I hadn't done a show or open mic or anything like that in a year.
Yeah.
So I got all the rust.
Just
I got all the rust.
Hella dry. So then, so then you get down to UCSB, and you hear about all the comedy happenings in the town. At this point, are you still just doing it as a hobby, or do you think that like comedy can be your career, or what at this point?
So I took it 2 ways. I was like, okay, I'm going to UC Santa Barbara,
right,
to get like a BA education, get the sociology major, and pursue a career path in law school. I say also I'm pretty funny too, and I think I'm pretty good. And I was like, well, while I'm there, I can try to see where this takes me. And then let's say if I go to this, so I was like, and then I can apply and get good grades. And I can go to law school in UCLA where I can do 2 things. I can still do comedy and go to law school. I was like, and then like I'm there doing auditions, and then I can figure some shit out.
Right.
So as the more and more I got into it with like comedy, or comedy and school, I was meeting these people from LA, these others like, yo, dude, you're funny and stuff like that. Meeting these headliners and stuff, you're funny, getting better. Like I met Trey, I met all these other guys, stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I'm pretty funny than some of these guys. And I'm like seeing people come up from LA. I was like, I think I'm just as funny as this dude. And like, I was like, how long you been doing comedy. Some people 5 years, 10 years. Some people like 8 months. Like I remember I met like Ramsey Bardet or something like that, whose girlfriend is Paige Weldon, who went on like the Tonight Show and stuff like that. And I was like, God, not the Tonight Show, but some other stuff.
Yeah.
And then met Brett Ernst, who's a dope homie of mine. Met Brian Callen, like the Brian Callen before the Fighter and the Kid podcast was a thing.
Right. I will say, man, when I went to, I've seen you, I think, a couple times now, and I really felt like your material was very original, which you can't say, especially in the community that I live in. I've seen a lot of the same recycled type of acts, and that's part of the reason why I wasn't really happy in the Bay when I started comedy. Is you had a lot of the same type of recycled humor, which is crazy because of how diverse the area is, but. I will say, man, your material was really original, and I think you had a really great set. I think you were a feature on the show, so you weren't headlining, but I'm seeing you getting a lot more headlining opportunities now.
Yeah.
When did you feel like you were ready to headline the show? Because I think I have a little bit of, even though I know I'm not ready to headline a show yet, I think I've always had that not survivor's guilt, imposter syndrome, where I don't think that I've worked as hard as the people that I look up to.
Yeah.
Right. Sleeping in their car and going to open night seven times in the night, all that stuff. Yeah. And so when did you feel like you were ready to become a headliner?
You want to be true? You want to be honest?
Tell me.
Never.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't feel I was ready until my homie gave me the opportunity. Like, he thought I was super funny. He thought I was super dope. I was coming up with jokes. I was doing this. I was doing that. And he was like, yo, could you headline? I was like, nah.
Yeah, right.
I can't headline. He was like, you ain't got 20, 30 minutes? I was like, oh, I got that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, because I remember back in the day.
Hour. Yeah.
Hour 15.
Right.
Like, somebody told me you're not a headliner if you can't do an hour and 15.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So he told me, could I headline? I'm like, go up there and talk for 60 minutes. Because I remember, so also Kevin Hart changed it where people, especially, used to be 60 minutes. He dropped it down to 45. And I thought about it, right? If you drop it from 60, and I remember Lavelle Crawford did an hour and 20 minutes. Like, can a brother get some love? That's two specials, really, if you think about it.
Right.
Like, because after a while, you kind of, like, you lose attention because, like, that's two 45-minute specials. So if you go from an hour to 45 minutes, right, that's an extra 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then you start working on another hour or, like, something, right? You got 15 minutes going towards your next hour. And all you got to do is come up with, like, another 30 minutes. But if you put in work over 2 years, you can come up with another hour again, right? Then you have like an extra, it starts to add up. Like if you come up with let's say you got that 15 minutes, but you didn't film none of that. And then you come up with another hour. Now you only shoot another 45 minutes. You have that 15 that you had before, and you also have like a whole nother 30 minutes that's still available. So, but back to me.
Yeah, right.
My homie gave me the opportunity to headline at Tommy T's. He's like, you can't headline? I was like, oh, I can. He was like, this is what you do. I'll have you co-headline with somebody. You do 25, they do 25, and then y'all that's 50 minutes.
Split the pot, yeah.
And then I had a feature, my homie Jeremy Curry, he did 15, right? And then I remember I went up there, I was so nervous, and I did it. And I watched it back, and I remember I was working hella hard. I remember I had a show before at Tommy T's where I featured and did like a cool 10 to 15. I was like, okay, that's the 10 to 15 I'm gonna do. And then I remember I had a few shows that weekend in Santa Barbara beforehand. I was hitting up open mics. Like, I didn't care. Like, after I had a show, it was 9:30. I drove from Dublin to San Francisco, which is 45 minutes, to get 5 minutes of stage time to work on some other jokes that I hadn't did. And that first headline opportunity, I was super nervous. I was going through hella jokes. I wouldn't let myself breathe. Like, I'm starting to notice now when you're a headliner, like, let stuff breathe.
Yeah, that's literally, that's the best space eater is. It's silence is okay. I learned that, like, I was listening to this Chappelle interview, and or someone was talking about Chappelle, and they said one of the best things that he does is he's not afraid of the silence. And I think I heard that, and it kind of clicked for me. I think I'm definitely a person that's nervous with silence, and that's I always talk when there's silence and when I'm in my groups or whatever. But on stage, like that silence could be to your advantage if you're not scared of it.
Yeah. So it was that, and then after that, because people saw me headlining Tommy T's, I started getting more opportunities. Like people who like I had met all through the Central Coast. It was like, hey man, you want to come out here and do a show? And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of far from me to be driving for like 10 minutes, something like that.
Right.
So, the headline. Because I guess people saw me, I headlined at Tommy T's. Like he's a headliner now, and I got a lot more opportunities. So I went from doing like 25, 30 to 30, 45. I remember there was like this crazy week where I did a show. So I had did Laughology. Then there was like another show that night or 2 shows that night. So I did 3 shows on Saturday, show Sunday, headline Monday, went to Fresno for a guest spot of 15 minutes, went back to Tommy T's that Wednesday, had Thursday off, did a show Friday, and did a show Saturday. Also, in a week before I went to Santa Barbara, I had another show in San Francisco that Friday before, a show that Thursday, and a show at Tommy T's that Wednesday. So for about, I did like 12 shows in like 10 days.
Now,
and
do you tell the same? Do you tell like this? That like, is it scripted in your mind, or do you at least like switch it up with a variation?
I write it down.
Well, what I mean is because like when you're doing a streak like that of shows throughout the whole weekend, is every set the same for you, or will you tool it up a little bit, or do you do a completely different set every time?
Nah, most of the time the set is always the same, or I have like a bunch of jokes that I've written down. But what I try to do, I try to write more than the time I have allowed.
Right.
Just to just because like muscle memory, right? Like I heard, like, people type up everything, but I've heard like if you write it out, it's more, you have more of a memory for like that, which I definitely do.
Yeah.
So I'm writing it out, and I'll write like if I have 10, I'll write 15 minutes of stuff. If I have 15, I'll write 20 minutes of stuff. If I'm headlining, which is like 40, 45 minutes, I think I've written like 60 to 65 minutes of stuff with just hella old jokes. My usual set, writing all the way down, and then like I'll write at the top like, okay, what about this joke? Like come in with this. I'll make notes on like the stuff in the crowd. So it's usually the same thing, but my interaction with the audience is different,
Right, for sure, yeah.
So because it's like you'll get the same jokes, but you won't get the same experience. That's how I can explain it basically. Like when I did that first Wednesday, it was cool. Like I was like, and then I kept it Thursday, then Friday, then Saturday, then Sunday, then Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday off, Friday had a show. That Saturday I had a show. I had said like the delivery and everything, how I brought it. I said 2 jokes and I had people dying. Like I'm like, I just said 2 jokes and I already got these motherfuckers killing. I'm killing already.
Such a great.
My homie told me I only had 7. He said 5 to 7 minutes. I ended up doing 13 because I was just killing that hard. Like I remember afterwards, he told me his name was TK Moore. He came and said, "Man, that's why the fuck I'm talking about. That's why I knew I should have booked you on this goddamn show." Then I was like the feature, and the dude who came up who headlined after me, he had 20 minutes of stuff. Couldn't follow it.
Yeah.
Like he had got some laughs and stuff, but he couldn't follow it. Like I had brought that heat because it was like that same.
Bro, I've never experienced a situation, but I hear so many comics talk about it from all skill levels. Always talk about their biggest fear is going up after someone just killed, and I never understood that, man. I never understood that, especially because I do feel like my stuff is unique to me more so. I've only come across I've only been at one other show where I'm listening to a guy and I'm like, fuck, this sounds a lot like the material that I talk about. Yeah. Other than that, I've never been scared of going up after someone that's killing though. I don't understand that mentality.
Well, it's this what it is, right? I've heard like other headliners like Gary on has talked about this like a lot, where he tries to bring the room back down and stuff like that, or other headliners. What happens is that the feature, goes off and kills so hard that the room is at like this fucking high ass state, right?
I got you. Okay.
So it's hard for the headliner to go automatically start and get up
45 to an hour now.
Now I gotta you can only get 20 minutes.
I got you.
And I got 45 to 60 minutes. Well, I gotta bring it back up here. So the room is so hot and the room level was so high.
That makes sense.
It's hard to, and now I gotta start off
Yeah.
here and work back up here. That's why it's so hard to follow. Because if you up here
yeah,
and you don't keep it up here,
yeah,
that's why you bomb immediately. You know,
that
because
makes
it's
sense.
and so what Gary Owen tells me, he like as a respectful guy who always, and this is how he keep getting booked. He was getting booked as a feature for people. Like whenever, or like let's say he's co-headlining with like a Mike Epps or somebody, but it's Mike Epps show, but he's like he's featuring. He'll have it go hella high and stuff like that, and then he'll say thank you, thank you. He'll take a bow, and then he'll say now, thank you so much. Now let's give it up for Mike Epps, you know, to try to bring it back down instead of just like, all right, I'm Gary Owen, have a good night. Instead of, you know, and then like, and then motherfuckers like, how the fuck I follow that shit? You know, so it's like, he brings it back down. He'd be like, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. You get an applause break.
Yeah.
He was like, now get ready for Mike Epps. And so then the host comes back up and that brings it back down. And then he also, and that's also because like I heard a lot of headliners don't like to have dope ass features, you know, because they, for whatever reasons, but then a lot of features be like, I'm trying to kill, and then they be like, Gary Owen said, he's, I learned Gary Owen ain't about me.
Right.
I didn't made on that marquee.
Right,
Come see me.
That's true.
He's like, so I'm over here thinking I killed. I'm over here like chilling in the lounge and shit like that.
Yeah.
Everybody just walking past me.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense because you don't want to upstage the person who they came here with, but you do want to have a good set.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's being respectful. You know,
you kind of want to pull your punches a little bit. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously this pandemic hit and, you know, shook really every industry, but how have you been handling, because you were on a pretty, I would say a pretty good roll going before the pandemic hit. Where were you like in your mentality wise before and then like kind of after things started to close down? Like did it really shake you or where were you?
Man, I had like six shows get canceled. I remember, so I'm a teacher too. I remember I was going to fly to Indianapolis and Atlanta during spring break to try to do shows in Indianapolis and Atlanta just to get some experience out there. And then because I had met two comics from some festival in San Francisco. I think it was either the Cluster Fest or some other one, right? They was like, oh, take my number down, stuff like that. If you're ever in the area, I was like, hey, man, I'll come in a few months when I got spring break from school. I was like, y'all got weekly shows? He's like, yeah, we got some weekly shows and stuff. And he was like, oh, hit up such and such because you could do like, if you go out there on a Friday, you could do probably about 4 to 5 shows. Right. And I was like, get my nose, like, or getting like my feet wet a little bit in Atlanta and Indianapolis, which is like 2 different spots. That would be great. Yeah. So, and then, also, I was talking to a guy who was trying to help me I was about to start doing NorCal shows. So most people think the Bay is NorCal. No, I was like up near the Oregon border.
Yeah.
Like about to start doing a show.
Yeah. Like what towns up there?
I don't know.
Yeah. We had a football game up there in high school, dude. It was the craziest thing. Go ahead, though. My bad.
No, that's cool. That was cool. It
was like the hills have eyes up there, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Nah. So it was something up there, and I was going to try to start pushing up towards like Northern California, Oregon, and eventually into like Washington, and it'd be like I'm doing this whole West Coast kind of vibe, and then also Midwest, and then eventually I was like, well, if I can, I could probably try to get in New York. But I was like, that's gonna be probably for the summer, more likewise, you know, and start trying to get in these festivals that you got to get in. But then also I was gonna try to record an album this year. Initially, I told myself I was supposed to do it in February, which would have been fucking great because I would have did it before COVID shit started.
Right.
But I started realizing I wasn't putting in the needed work, and I was doing enough research, so I was gonna push it back to like my birthday month, and I'm gonna do it in June. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to start pushing. I was like, that's why I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna start doing is like trying like be riding a ton. And then of course COVID hit and everything shut down, and then everybody started doing Zoom show. And I was like, man, I don't know how to feel about this. But then I was like, and also I wasn't writing like that. But then I was like, let me try to start, because I always get like, I watch comedy to get into like a funny mood, and it helps me write, helps me come up with stuff, helps my creative mind. So I started doing that. I watch this one guy like a lot. He's a white comedian, because like white comedians don't talk about the same stuff as black comedians. This was like a contrast,
right? So I don't
end up sounding like him. So I was watching him. Oh, Nate Bargatze. I watch him a lot. And I was doing like just like listen to him, and then like I'll stop and I'll like come with like all these new, like whenever I watch like a comedian, I usually like watch like 3-4 minutes or something, and then I usually get in like to a funny mood and I'm start going and start
I
writing
got you
stuff.
saying.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I did that, and I started coming up with like a lot of new jokes, and then I realized I came up with probably about like another new 30 minutes of material.
Mm.
I had a new 10 I was starting to like dish out, and I was starting to do. I was like retired my old 10.
That's funny. You got to be in like the funny mode too. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So I was doing that, and then I started writing and self-writing, all this kind of stuff, like pandemic stuff, COVID this, yada yada, blah 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 blah. I started realizing, I started thinking everything like COVID related, like all this kind of stuff. I was like, damn, I think I got like 20 minutes of stuff on top of this other 10 minutes that I already had that's still like in this work. So I was like, maybe I was like, is it 30? Is it 20? Is it 30? I was like, maybe it might be 40. And I just keep writing, and I'm like, I think I have like a whole new like like 40 minutes that I could possibly do. So new special. I'm like, I still got to retire that old material that I had beforehand. So I was like, whenever the shit open back up, I got to really work on like trying to shoot a special or like a recording or whatever. And then my homie told me put that on like YouTube and stuff, like in 5-minute increments, videos and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, that's what I'm thinking is next. But then also I got to refine like all my old 40 minutes of jokes and listen to like old recordings of it, so I can, because I'm also a headline next Tuesday for a virtual show at for my UC.
So I'm seeing you're getting a lot more opportunities. So did you participate in the Zoom shows?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And what was your, because my thing was just like, I'm not thirsty enough to need that attention, and I'll just wait. I just didn't feel like it's not the part that I enjoy. Like the part for me is literally the crowd interaction, and I don't need the laugh or afterwards saying you had a great set. I really, I do it for the one-on-one. Yeah.
So the crazy thing about it is, I feel like the comics who have this you have the wrong mindset when it comes to stuff like that. The Zoom shows, because they are different. They are like harder. It's just like a dull, different like atmosphere, right? But when I first did, I had the same. I was like, I don't want to do comedy. I was like, it's hard to do delays and stuff. But then when I first did my first Zoom show, it was the thing that I needed to do that I didn't know I needed to do.
Okay.
So I was like, damn, that was a good show. I was like, fuck, stuff. And then even open mics though, like let's say you go to open mic, right? Or like a Zoom open mic is different from a regular open mic, because how when a normal open mic, you got people up there like on the stage like going, but then everybody else is trying to wait and see like when they're up, and like they're like just like, all right, man, well this person's up, okay, when I'm next, or stuff like that, and everyone's like around doing like other stuff. But a Zoom open mic, we're actually all there together. Sometimes commenting on somebody's funny jokes or something like that. Like I feel like comics are really more interactive in open mics and like shows, stuff like that. So it's like it gives a different kind of camaraderie versus like before, when at actual open mic, we're spread out. We got to keep our voices down. We got to go outside. We smoking a cigarette. Like none of us are in tune with it.
No.
Versus an open mic, you got a Zoom.
No one's even fucking listening because they're thinking about their set. Right.
Exactly. But like now, like I've noticed the camaraderie with comics doing a Zoom open mic is a lot different. And then with the show, like once again, when I said pausing, I got to pause a lot more on Zoom open mics and let jokes breathe and stuff. Like that's the only thing I've noticed, because it's delayed. It's usually like a.
So how do you know there's a laugh? For example, because I'm assuming everyone is muted, right?
Nah. So the good shows, you don't mute everybody. You don't mute everybody, or sometimes I'm observational. So I'll be like, all right, let's get some videos on. Okay, Courtney, I see you, or something like that. Oh, what you doing over there? Ralph, what are you doing, Ralph? Oh, snap. Let's turn these mics on. I want to hear people.
Right.
How y'all doing? Like, what y'all up to? Like, y'all chilling?
Right.
Hey, it's your mama house? You at your girlfriend house?
Right.
You at your girlfriend house, but you married? Okay, I see.
Right.
And then that like you start to engage people, and you start to bring people in that kind of way. Because if I see you, it makes for a better show.
Right.
Because if I see you and you got your mic on, it's a lot better than having your mic off. Like, yo, all right, you don't want to turn your your video on. Turn your mic on so I can hear the laughs. I need to hear the laughs to know that I'm doing well, to try to interact more. Otherwise, it's like weird when you just up there. He's like,
no, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying though. So okay, so it is a little bit more interactive than what I thought. Because we use Zoom at work, and my dumb ass be telling jokes at work all the time on these Zoom meetings, right? And and it took me a little while to realize that people are laughing or enjoying it. It's just you're not gonna get that instant You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's something like this. Say something funny, or just say like hello or something like that, right? Like,
Right.
just say hello.
Hello. Right. It's just a delay. I
It's a
got you.
delay.
Yeah.
So that's what you gotta deal with and work with. And also,
Right.
I started realizing, because I remember another thing. I was like, I'm writing all this stuff. I'm watching. I'm like, I'm writing a lot. I'm writing. I'm like, I need to start practicing this shit before like the stuff I had from 2-3 months ago gets
Right.
lost. So
Right.
I had to start writing this stuff down and doing it, performing it.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, people were like, yo, man, the Zoom show ain't the same. I'm like, all right, you won't get passed by. Like, if you're not a headliner or something like that who getting booked or doing, I feel like we still need that practice. We still need that shine. We're still trying to do stuff.
Right.
I feel that's the thing that's lacking with people.
So listen, we are way over an hour at this point. So I need to do my best job at kind of coming to a close on this.
Yeah.
Number one, what has been the unexpected positives of this pandemic for you so far? COVID 2020, I guess.
Oh, the positives.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that, obviously that none of us could have anticipated.
I guess more time with my family to an extent.
Right.
But another positive was a joke I always have. I was like, nowadays, when an old white woman crosses the street, it's not racism. It's just she's trying to keep 6 feet difference away because of COVID. I'll be like, oh, you didn't even grab your purse that time. Look at you. Oh my God. Look at you. Good job. Another simple joke. Cat calling is a very safe thing and is allowed now. Like ladies, you like cat calling? They'd be like, no, we don't like it. I was like, but nowadays it's probably the safest way. Like, hey, excuse me, girl, how you doing?
Right.
Yes, you with the mask.
Right.
Like, no, come 6 feet. Let's keep distance. Let's keep our distance, yo. I think of like crazy stuff like that. Like TLC can never come out with no scrubs nowadays. That's that man who was hanging out the side of his best friend's ride trying to holler at you. He was ahead of the time,
That's
yo.
the safest thing for you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Safest thing. Like I just like little stuff like that. Like
right.
Also my mental space. Also I gotta say I had COVID, which was terrible. I had it in July, and I started thinking to myself, if I was in worse shape, this shit could have taken me out. So I've becoming more of a trying to be more of a health nut, trying to get my health stick. Even though
first of all, you should have said that at the top. We could have spent the 2 hours talking about that.
Nah, man, I'm like I don't know, man. It's just,
so it is real.
It is real. COVID is real as fuck. Like whenever I see somebody saying mandatory masks we shouldn't be separate, I'm just like, you motherfuckers don't know how real this shit is. Like, yo, I remember a simple task. Like, so I remember one of the simplest tasks I did. I remember I got up, made myself eggs, not breakfast, eggs.
Yeah.
And I swept the floor, and I remember I wiped stuff down because I remember I found out that morning. And I went back to my room and I ate half the eggs, and I was like exhausted.
Wow.
And then I literally slept for the next 4 hours.
Wow.
Got up again, try to get something to eat, use the restroom. That was exhausting.
Wow.
Laid down again for another like 2-3 hours.
Damn.
And then also, I couldn't taste anything, which sucked.
Yeah.
But I got a white girlfriend, so it kind of helps.
I made some chicken tonight. Cool. I got this COVID, so it's gonna taste the same.
It helps so much. That's not true. I don't have a white girlfriend, but I love saying that. They was like, "Oh damn, how was it?" I was like, "Well, I got a white girlfriend.
Right.
And people already know where I'm going."
Right.
I was like, so the ability not to taste, it helps her. Her cooking is amazing now.
Right.
I wonder. With that,
that's hilarious.
I try to put some fun into it, even with that. So yeah.
Damn, man. So it was 2 weeks. To about how long did your?
2 weeks, man. It was about like a serious. It was 9 days. It was 9 days, and I remember I tested. So I remember my first symptoms.
And who gave it to you?
I think my mom gave it to me. I'm not sure.
Oh damn.
But she works at a hospital. She's an ER nurse.
Right.
So she got it from work.
Oh man.
So then I got it Because I remember that Monday I started feeling sick. So this was after 4th of July weekend. We all thought we got sick because we went to Vegas. But
You don't care. You're not being safe. I got it. Okay.
no, I was though. So we thought we were.
You went to
like,
Vegas. You were not being safe, Corde.
Yeah. No, I was being safe. I was wearing my mask. Also, I don't like to gamble, so I was in my hotel
Just with your
most
life.
of the time. Like I wasn't going to clubs.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a lot of like a lot of buffets was closed.
Yeah.
The only thing I did was go to a comedy show. Like that was like the one big thing I did, and it was I gambled like here and there, but I wasn't out like that. So actually, for me, it was like kind of a waste going to Vegas. Cause I'm like, it was like, why don't you come to gamble? I don't like to gamble.
Right.
What are you here for? I was like, I'm here to drink. Like,
yeah.
So she got it from that. And then I think she gave it to me because like we were interacting and stuff like that. And then so that Monday I felt sick. Tuesday I felt sick, and then Wednesday like I had a throat, I had a cough, I had a chest, right? And then that Wednesday I got tested, and then that Saturday I got my results back, and I came back positive. But the funny thing about it, that Wednesday after I got tested, Thursday I felt way better. Friday, I felt amazing. I thought I could have ran like a 5K. So I thought I just had a cold.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I just had a cold. But when I found out Saturday that I was tested positive, literally, I found out like 5 a.m. That 1 p.m. that day, because I remember I went to Starbucks. I got like a caramel frap, but I was wearing gloves because I was like,
I'm sorry.
Do this shit.
You got a caramel frappuccino?
Caramel frappuccino, you already know, bro. Extra caramel, no whipped cream, and almond milk because I'm lactose. So, yeah. And then later that day, at like 1 p.m. after I like
First of all, don't try to pass off the caramel frap comment because I got a caramel frap. We're gonna keep moving along.
Hey man, I got my shit down packed, yo. Let me get a caramel frappuccino, extra caramel in the cup, what size? Venti with almond milk.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The caramel macchiatos, I fuck with the caramel macchiatos a lot, bro.
I don't know what that is. I've had caramel frappuccino, so that's the only drink I know. And I know mocha frappuccino. 2 drinks I know. So the macchiatos, you talking a whole nother language, bro. You talking, I heard that's good, I think.
Oh my God.
So literally later that day, because I couldn't finish it because it's hella tall and it's super sweet too. Like later that day, it was like 1 p.m. I remember specifically. I was drinking it. I was like, this thing flat.
Oh.
I was like, the heck?
Yeah.
I was like,
I can't taste it. Wow.
Can't taste that, right?
Yeah.
And then I went in. I was like, let me see. Can I not taste? What the hell? So I went and got like a butterscotch cookie candy, right? And I remember I had it 2 days later. That thing is so delicious, so flavorful. Whenever I put it in my mouth, I'm like,
oh man. Right.
I could barely taste it.
Wow.
Corde, like, you ever had like a sip before or something?
Yeah.
It was like a sip, but it was like on my cheek. I had 2 of them. I'm like,
yeah. You put 2 in. Wait, this first one's not working. Let me try the other one.
Try the second one. Yeah.
Dude, I just came back from San Diego during Labor Day, and I had when I came back, I every little sense I was like panicking. You know what I'm saying? This is it. So I would wake up probably every couple hours to start smelling random things to make sure I could still smell. Like I would. That's anytime I feel like I might have it, I just start smelling water or something, just to make sure I still have it. That's crazy though. That's crazy, man. And in just 2 weeks or 9 days, it was gone.
Yeah. So, which is weird too, because I'm guessing I tested positive Wednesday.
Oh, that's time
I got tested Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tested positive. I got my results back Saturday. So July 4th, right? So let me look. So basically, like July 4th was Saturday.
Yeah.
So the 6th, I basically got it. The 8th, I got tested.
Right.
2 days later was the 10th. It's like when I got my results and I was positive.
Uh-huh.
So I was sick the 8th, 9th, 10th. Got better. Oh, wait, no. I was sick the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Got better the 9th and 10th. I got us. And then the 11th is when I found out I was positive. And then from the 11th till probably that next Sunday, I had like all those experiences. Yeah.
And then you had to get tested again to make sure it was gone?
No, so I can't get tested again because I might end up testing positive. They say don't get tested again unless you have to get tested for your job because you can possibly end up positive, and you end up positive again, then you have to isolate all over again. But it's mainly because you tested positive beforehand. So for
That doesn't
us,
sound
unlike,
that that doesn't
huh?
sound that doesn't sound like that's the efficient way to do that.
Well, because we're not athletes. He's like, unless I was like, what happened if I got to get tested for my job? Let's say I'm going back. It's like, okay, well then get tested and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, but because you were positive before, you could come up positive again,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know. So I think I basically they're still trying to find out stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
like I want to donate like the antibodies or whatever.
Right. Right.
So I hear it's if you test positive, don't get tested again for 3 months because the antibodies.
Oh, I got you. Damn, that's
So that's
crazy.
why. But they say that's why like after you're like no longer contagious and and after you're feeling better, you have the plasma or whatever so you can
Mm.
like help fight it. But so yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I took a detour there. Shit.
Right.
That's crazy. What
Yeah.
all right, the last question I will ask then is if you could go back 10 years ago, what is it? It's 2020 now. So you can go back to 2010 and
Yeah.
tell yourself one message, what would it be?
Um
Because
it'll be a
so
long message.
where are you 10 years ago at this point?
10 years ago at this point.
You're at UCSB,
Um
right?
no. I didn't go to UCSB till
No, this is you got
2014.
yeah.
Oh, 2010,
Yeah,
I'm
so you were
about to
in that
tear my
theater class.
I'm about to tear my MCL.
Right.
I'm about to
Right.
tear my MCL playing football.
Right.
I'll tell myself, don't dive on that pile because your teammate is about to come mess up your knee. I
Right.
would also tell myself early in that game, keep jogging because this dude's about to fumble. Like keep running, keep hustling. Because I remember it was this one play where this dude went right, and then he got tackled. But then when our teammates popped the ball up,
Yeah.
and because I stopped running, I would have if I kept running past the play, I would
Right.
have picked up the fumble and kind of turned around.
Right.
So that would have been one thing, and then practice comedy a lot more. Like go to open mics.
Mm.
Would be a few things. And then there's also like a few girls in there,
Right.
like, hey, try to date her, try to talk to her, some shit like that. You know, like that kind of thing.
Oh, so you don't the regrets is the girls you didn't talk to, not the girls that you did talk to.
Oh yeah. These all the girls I didn't smash, of
I got
course.
you. I got
Of
you. And
course.
by
Like
smash, he means smash their communicative skills. That's what he meant.
nah.
Just
We talking about getting laid.
get to know, and when he means
Yeah.
get laid, he means
Oh,
like he
yeah.
means like like go to
Okay.
Hawaii with these women.
Yeah.
Give him a lay. Right.
Also because I got sick, I had a seizure. This is probably the most important, like actual for me. Or two things. One, come to terms with you have seizures. Go to therapy more to deal with the stress that causes them, and stop allowing your stress levels to get so high to cause one. Like that was like I had a seizure in 2009, and it took me like a solid few years for me to realize that I have them. I'll try to like continue to act like I'll pile like a lot of stuff on my plate, have a seizure, and have to pile stuff off, and then
Oh
like okay,
wow.
I'm better now. Pile stuff back on, and it was like, yo, you're stressing yourself out too much, and it
Right.
was something I didn't come to terms with.
Yeah.
And then a second thing is
Probably because that coach told you were soft for having a fucking heat stroke.
exactly. But I knew, but that coach saying that, I knew that he didn't care about me. That's why
Right.
I was like, when he said that, I was like, I'm soft, really? I was like, because the crazy thing about Lenny, I'm running hella hard out here, right?
Yeah.
But you got your running backs who's starters, right?
Yeah.
Over here jogging,
Right.
walking. So
Right.
I'm running. Like first off, you didn't see me out there. You wasn't out there saw me working and stuff like that. So I was like, that's the first step. Two, your star players, whatever, don't be showing up to practice, barely be lifting anything and just going off. I'm like, don't even miss me with
Yeah.
that BS.
Right.
But so I didn't believe him. And then
Yeah.
like three is work less, take less hours working at at uh at your job and take more classes because I would have transferred a lot faster.
Right. Yeah. I got you.
And probably the last thing is keep talking to Rebecca, the thick white chick from Santa Barbara, because she likes you and she's about to break up with her boyfriend.
Shout out to Rebecca, the thick white girl that ended up breaking up with her boyfriend.
That ended up breaking, bro. They was together for 3 years. She was a virgin, but she was thick as hell. Bro, I remember one time.
I'm done. I'm turning this off. I'm done.
Bro, I gotta say
thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're done. We're done here. There are grandmothers that listen to my show, man. I'm syndicated.
Okay, I got you. I'm just saying there was this long conversation. Like we hung out after watching an Infinity War, a 2.5 hour movie. Right, we hung out till 3 a.m. just talking, not even doing nothing, just talking. But like it was like deep level stuff.
Oh,
like,
she was still with her boyfriend.
She was still with her boyfriend, right? And so I was like, we talked about like body images. We talked about
planting them seeds,
bro. I planted so many seeds, right? But then I was like, I don't know why I keep wasting my time. Like I remember we was messaging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why I keep wasting my time.
Yeah.
She got a dude. They've been together for several years. She not about to break up with this dude. I need to stop wasting my time. And when I stopped wasting my time, she broke up with the dude the next week. So if I would have kept planting them seeds, we could have been together.
Hey man, taxes, death, and disloyalty are 3 things that are always going to be constant in a tale as old as time. Yeah. Disloyalty.
We never did nothing, but it was just like,
no, but you planted enough seeds where she was thinking, you know what she was doing. Oh, what? He don't be listening to you? That's crazy.
The funny thing about it, I wasn't even talking like that though. I was just talking to her like one-on-one,
like because y'all actually got along with each other.
And I was like, well, I'm just keep talking to her. She ain't gonna leave her dude. I was like, that was my initial plan. I was like, yo, he ain't talk, listening and stuff. But then we just had a deep conversation where it was me and her talking. We didn't even bring up her dude. Like we brought him up like randomly.
Well, that's the rule of the side guy. You never mention the other person.
Yeah. So it was cool. I was like, yo, I should have kept talking to thick Rebecca with the color, bro. She had like rainbow hair. It was like purple with like blue. Like I remember she walked in the room, my jaw drops. I remember I was like, I don't know.
You still be checking her Instagram, don't you?
Nah, she ain't got one. She got a Facebook. But you know I know. Hey,
Corde, you got anything to plug, bro? Besides Rebecca's Facebook page?
I don't know when this is dropping, but next Tuesday, I'm doing a show for UC Santa Barbara called Pre-Shock. I'm doing a show for them, so I'm headlining. I'm doing 45 minutes for them. Also, this weekend, I'm heading to Boise, Idaho to do a show. And also follow me on Instagram at Corde Made Yo Day. So how you spell Corde? Corde, and then made, like literally like you made like a cake. Yo, Y-O, and then day. And then follow me on Twitter at Corde Made YR Day. It should have been together the same thing, but I didn't. I was like, I'm gonna make all these shit different. I'm gonna be difficult. Dumb.
Corde, bro, I appreciate you, man.
No problem, man.
All right.